Hi, everybody. This is our review for Shrouded Fable, the upcoming special set for the year. This is going to be our views and thoughts for all of the cards that are part of this set. We also like to thank Justin Bassel for letting us use his website and provide the translation for all of these cards. Let's get going.
Okay, so first off is Galvantula. Nothing too special about it. It can basically hit for 180 if you have a grass and a lightning, and if they have an ability, it's super niche. I think it's just meant to knock out Charizard, and that's kind of it. And that's not a good enough reason to play it. So, thoughts on if United Wings can come back?
Yes, at 280, it's doing a lot better than before because it can now knock out a Giratina. And even though I know Dartrick is there for the Charizard counter, Charizard is not being played as much as it used to be.
Yeah.
It really is just cannon fodder for the deck, which the deck needs it if it wants to be as good as like Ancient Box or a Turbo Lost Box.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not gonna make it a great deck, but it's at least something for that archetype.
And well, Tapu Bulu, nothing special. Houndoom, nothing special. Iron Moth, not anything special. Kingdra has this whole debate around it as to, is it worth it to waste an entire turn to set up your board? Currently, I think the answer is no, but there could be future Pokemon that are water type that just have such awesome abilities that it's worth it. Um, but I think currently Baxcalibur Chien-Pao goes faster just on its own. So I don't know that Kingdra is worth the extra rare candy on. Weavile does the same thing as Articuno, but you have to discard all your energies. So I don't foresee this being any better than Articuno, especially since it can evolve. Ravaroom, it's not that great. It costs too much to do anything with.
Hypno is a fun card. If we didn't have so many cards that could accelerate energy, it would be a pretty great card.
And switch cards exist. Jet energy exists. Yeah, there's just too many things. And we currently don't have any trainer lock in the form of an ability, so it doesn't do you a whole lot of good to lock your opponent. Dusclops and Dusknoir, you can use their abilities to knock yourself out, deal damage to your opponent. So you could potentially Iono your opponent to just a few cards on your second turn. So it's debatable if these cards are going to be good or not.
If we can get supports that can make this deck get 4 Dust Clubs in your second turn, then there's a good chance that it becomes a phenomenal deck. But then again, you have decks such as not Ancient Box, Raging Bolt that have such large HP that it wouldn't really do much in that case.
Mm-hmm. So it's just a matter of, is that Iono worth it? Is it worth it to Iono them to two? This current format, everybody gets set up just in one turn anyway. So
Yeah.
yeah, Cresselia, nothing too special. I mean, it can do 160 for 3 energies, but I think it really needed to have the clause of letting you flip over however many prize cards that you want. But since you're limited to only one prize card, I don't think you can do a whole lot with Cresselia.
Yeah, the other Cresselia is much better. The one from Lost Origin.
Right, and the other Cresselia can heal 20 from all your Pokemon and move that damage somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
This Cresselia can't do that.
Sylveon has a fun attack with Mystic Return. However, the fact that it's a flip of a coin hurts it a lot. If it wasn't for that, it wouldn't be that bad to play in. A one of.
Yeah. Toxicroak, nothing special. Blood Moon Ursaluna. It has self acceleration when you play it down from your hand, and it can do 130 damage, or 100 damage, and then 30 more for every damage counter. So you could play Iron Valiant. You could play the new Dusknoir. Um, I don't know. Is there anything else that places damage counters?
Monkey Dory could be a part of the
Monkey
deck.
Dory, yeah.
Um,
So you could potentially do some good damage. And it's a one prizer, 150 HP, self acceleration. Like, it's not terrible.
oh, Frostlass as well.
Potentially, yeah. So I think this card's not to be ruled out, but it's debatable if we'll see it played or not. But it could also provide energy acceleration for Raging Bolt too. So we'll see about that. Slitherwing basically gives Lost Box a way to counter Iron Hands for only one fighting energy, but aside from that, it doesn't do a whole lot.
Crobat has a phenomenal ability, letting you draw 8 through the usage of Janine's secret technique, but it's a stage 2, and that really hurts it.
And its attack isn't all that great.
No.
Because even with all the poison support, you're maxing out at like 180 maybe. So, yeah,
Yeah.
not that great. Zoroark is too easily played around. I don't think that it's going to see that much play unless you just like. I don't even know what's weak to dark that would be playing down more than one EX Pokemon. So, yeah, it doesn't really counter anything right now. But asterisks on right now could be useful in the future. Malamar could see play, but probably not. In the past we've never really seen attacks that switch in the opponent's Pokemon and do damage to it be good. And this one also requires you to play Zero Sick in order to do that. So, it's not that great.
Yveltal, the damage is subpar, but the flip of a coin, get rid of energy, that can, well, it can help in some cases, depending what it's up against.
Okay, and then we've got the Dark Animal EXs. So, Okidogi can attach 2 energies to itself, and it can do 160 damage if it's poisoned. So if you can also poison your opponent, that's 270. And then with the tool card, you're doing 310. And if you play the Stadium or Radiant Sneasler, you can do 330, 350. So you can hit some good numbers with Okidogi. The energy acceleration part is the questionable part. We do have Dark Patch, so it might not be that hard.
No. We have Janine's
And
technique.
we have Janine. Monkey Dory, it's basically your one prizer, quote unquote one prizer. It's a conditional one prizer. So it has 210. It can do 190. It can get some pot shots in there, but it could be played as a one up. But I don't know. It might not.
Then Festivity EX, everybody's gonna play it. If your Pokemon gets knocked out during your last turn, you draw 3 more cards. And the attack, it's 3 colorless, do 100 to any of your opponent's Pokemon. That's not a bad attack if you can get it going.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know that everybody's going to play it because I think we have had this ability in the past, and I don't remember it being played too much. But at that point, I think it was like 150 HP Pokemon or something like that. That was worth 2 prizes, so that specific Pokemon wasn't worth it. But Pheasantipiti's got 210, so maybe it's got more survivability, and maybe it's worth playing for 2 prize cards. So we'll see. Petulant, kind of similar to Keldeo, but you can switch in any dark Pokemon, not just itself. But you can only do it once per turn. But I think it'll be a good card because just the ability to switch yourself in will be good. And late game, against a deck that does take prize cards, it can do some good damage. I don't know, let's say they take 5 prize cards, it's 300 damage. It's not that good, but it's decent. But I think it'll be played for its ability, for sure.
Genesect, it's able to block your opponent from playing their Ace Spec card. If it has a tool attached, it's
And that's a big caveat.
yeah. Are we gonna see this played? Not really, but I could see in a control deck.
Yeah. I think the Spiritomb from way back when was just way better because the Spiritomb did not require you to have a tool card. It did shut off your own A-spec cards, but I think that was a worthwhile trade-off. But Genesect does not turn off your own A-spec cards, so
There's that.
Copperajah, nothing special. Um, Fracture is currently the only Pokemon that can prevent item cards and supporter cards to have any effects on itself. So there's that. I don't know if that'll have a use, but it could. And then
Hexorus, the ability to knock out a Pokemon for just having a special card attached. That would be a great one-off to put in a Regidrago deck, especially for the Lugia counter.
although the only problem with that is that Mist Energy stops all effects
yeah.
of attacks. So this is an effect. So if the Lugia player is smart, they'll, attach their Mist Energy. But yes, it could catch them off guard. Kyurem counters anybody with Colress in their deck or in their discard pile. So if your deck has trouble against Lost Box and only Lost Box, and Kyurem is just your only answer to it, then go for it. But
Nuzlocke is not that problematic
yeah,
anymore.
we'll see if this thing sees any play, but I don't know. 110 to 3 Pokemon, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So, but it does take 2 metals and 2 waters and another energy. So that's tough.
Then Persia's not that great. Eevee's not that great. Furfro's not that great.
Beware, nope. Binding Mochi allows you to do 40 more damage if you're poisoned. So it'll make all those Ogie Dogie cards pretty good. Or just
Cloth.
Yeah.
Or Conkeldurr as well.
Yeah. So there's a lot of cards that could use this. I think this Binding Mochi, I think you'll see it at Worlds. I think somebody will use it somewhere.
Cassiopeia, you can only use it when it's your last card and get any 2 cards from your deck to get a roll in.
Yeah.
I could see somebody finding a way to make it work in a Miraidon deck.
Because Peony used to be used in Miraidon.
For the double electric generator.
The only caveat to this is that can Miraidon easily empty its entire hand? That's debatable. I think Green's exploration was just better because it did not require you to have an empty hand. It just required you to have no abilities. So in this current format, though, maybe Greens wouldn't see play. It could, I guess, but it's debatable.
Definitely not in a Miraidon deck, though.
Yeah, not in a Miraidon deck. But Cassiopeia, I think it has potential. It's just we can't figure out that potential right now. But somebody might figure it out.
Chorus Tenacity, search your deck for Stadium and Energy. And
Any kind of energy.
that's true.
Special energy included. So if your attacks require you to have stadium cards in play, could be pretty good. You could get like an Artisan and
Reversal.
a Jet Energy or something, or
Double
Reversal.
colorless.
Yeah, double turbo. So if your deck specifically wants you to get out an energy, a special energy, and that just helps you get set up overall, then I think this card could help you. But this is like a 5 out of 10 card maybe. Who knows?
Dangerous Laser. Your opponent's active Pokemon burned and confused. Pretty terrible at this moment, but
We'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah. Janine allows you to attach 2 dark energies to, 1 dark energy to 2 Pokemon each. So it doesn't draw you any cards, so you don't gain that much tempo off of it. But the energies do come out of your deck, though, so it doesn't have to come out of your discard pile or your hand, unlike other supporters that we have in the current format. So that trade-off could be worth it. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Also poisons your active Pokemon, so it also is a way to turn on Binding Mochi and things like that.
Neutral Center prevents all damage on your Pokemon from on your non-rural Pokemon from your opponent's EX and V.
But it's so easily played around. I mean, Lost Vacuum,
Mm-hmm.
Stadium cards. Every deck, almost every deck plays a non-EX Pokemon anyway, so
What really hurts is the fact that you can't get it back through Roseanne's
yeah.
backup. If it wasn't
So
for that, you could actually see this in a Gardevoir Lost box.
could see it played, yeah. But we'll see. Well, but I don't foresee this card getting played.
No.
But I might eat my own words. Who knows? Knight Academy could be used for some silly decks like Macargo or Camerupt or any deck that reveals the top card and does some damage based on the top card.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
It gives consistency to Electric Generator.
yeah. So it's like half of a Cypher Maniac, but the cards come from your hand. Um, it could be played in a silly Chansey deck. So with Arc Phone, you could put a Chansey on top of your deck and then Arc Phone that Chansey into your prize cards, and then you could potentially draw 4 prize cards in one turn. So that's a silly idea, but probably not that feasible. Um, but who knows? It might see play for some reason or another. Um,
Night Stretcher. Any Pokemon or a basic energy into your hand from your discard.
so this card could revitalize Radiant Charizard, because currently there's nothing that really puts Radiant Charizard into your hand. It's just Super Rod is kind of your only option with that.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Lana does not put rule box Pokemon in your hand, so this is your best card. This could replace at least one Super Rod in some decks. I could see Gardevoir possibly playing this, if they want to put a Pokemon immediately into their hand. But Gardevoir does have so much draw power that maybe they don't have to worry about it.
No.
So, but it could be good in Lost Box. I mean, just getting any of your cards back is kind of good. A spec card, Pokevital, just don't play it. There's so many other good cards. This just heals 150 once per game.
You can never get it back.
Yeah, so
Power Hourglass. At the end of the turn, attach a basic energy from your discard pile to your active.
and it's not a proactive card. It doesn't give you any tempo. So unless your deck can do something special like Primal Groudon could do back in the day, where it didn't care how slow it was, it just got set up, then maybe this card could be used. But I don't think we currently have any cards in the format that are just so good that getting them set up eventually is the best course of action. So
No, it's too fast of a meta game with too much fast knockouts going
yeah.
on.
Now, I mean, I guess it could be played in something like Raichu V or Chen Pao or something, but still, those decks want to be way faster. And they don't want to slow down for Power Hourglass. So, yeah, we'll have to see if there's anything that this card that can take advantage of this card, but currently, I don't think so. And then our last card is Zero Sick, which your opponent gets to choose 3 cards to keep in their hand, and they have to discard all the other cards. So it's good and bad. Your opponent gets to choose what they get to keep, but 3 cards is not that many cards.
In the Luxray deck, it drops it down to 2.
Yeah. We haven't seen Hand Clipper get played, and it's an item card. So it's debatable to see if Zero Sick will get played and it's a supporter. But there was a lot of people that didn't think that Delinquent was going to get played, and it did. The only difference in Delinquent is that you're guaranteed to discard 3 cards regardless of how many cards your opponent had. So Delinquent was far better than Zero Sick, in my opinion, anyway. So we'll see. But anyway, that was our overview of this new side set that we'll get in a few weeks or a month or so. But
From a competitive standpoint, it's not really worth buying
boxes
product.
and boxes, yeah.
Yeah, and even from a collector side, the reality is that most of the cards are rather subpar in their design. With
Yeah,
a
I
few,
mean, for a collector, these cards should be cheap. It's actually good for a collector, right?
yes.
Yeah. So, but yeah, thanks to Justin Basil for all these translations and stuff.
And thank you guys for watching. We'll catch you guys later.